Hello, guys and girls. Welcome to this week's Your Honor review. So, this is episode 7. I think a testament to how boring this show has actually turned out to be in the end. And this episode definitely feels like a sort of an upturn. It sounds a bit more live, and not a lot more, but there were at least a couple of scenes that sort of stood out and were quite well done, I thought. So, yeah, I think by the low standards of the recent episodes anyway, this definitely ranks as a stronger episode. I will say the moment in the episode that made me laugh out loud so much was actually the "I've Got the Power," the rap music, the rap version of that song, which was playing on Carlo's stereo in his car. That was like a what the fuck sort of moment, basically. The way the scene played out, at first I thought it might have been his ringtone or something, which probably would have been even more hilarious. But it's just so funny. It's like this macho sort of rap version of "I've Got the Power," which people my age will definitely know as this like 90s hit sort of thing. But the scene in question is that Jimmy, his father's trying to get hold of him, and that's because he obviously knows from Michael that the cops are going to arrest him. So he's actually like frantically warning his son, or trying to warn him, don't go to the house. So I think that's maybe why, so that the money doesn't get like picked up by the police as part of evidence, or gets picked up. Um, But yeah, in a sort of a hilarious sort of twist, Jimmy can't get hold of Carlo because he's playing that hilarious song in the car. So that's pretty funny. Actually, one of the other best scenes, which may be the standout scene just for drama, is in when you've got the detective who we've seen a lot, who's quite pally with Michael, and she's the one who interviews Carlo. She's almost trying to like talk him into confessing, like an early confession, because she says if this goes to a trial and a jury, you've got a very slim chance. I'll probably put it at about 15% because we've got a lot of evidence against you. So she tries to reason that yeah, if you confess now early, it's the best for you. And she tries to convince him that it's a good bit of dialogue, actually. It takes balls to confess early, that sort of thing. It's because they hear like a phone message which Michael left. Sorry, Jimmy left Michael, and they realise they knew. And there's some okay scenes in this episode beside that, but they just sort of drag. I think they just sort of drag scenes out again too long, and there's just like incidental bits of dialogue and exchanges that could have been cut out or just made a lot more interesting. There's sort of stuff with like Jimmy and his daughter, and she finds out about why her brother has been arrested. There's actually quite a good line from her about sometimes I just feel like the wrong brother was killed because, hey, you can maybe understand why she would feel that way. But the stuff with her father, and those scenes don't really go anywhere. It's just the typical Jimmy, like bullishly denying it. That he sort of admits that Carlo got up to some dodgy business in prison, and that's what led to like the drug deal they're now. Jimmy actually has some really bad dialogue. It's a bad bit of dialogue when he's talking about like throwing him overboard if he doesn't like live up to his end of the bargain. That's why I asked, how can you give me a how? That's actually a line in this episode, which is just so clunky. And there's a scene with Michael and Jimmy where Jimmy's like questioning him about the day that Rocco died, because of course he still thinks it was Michael, and Michael's trying to sort of cover up for his son. And that's quite a good scene, just because you've got two really good actors, and it's them sort of playing off against each other. That's like an okay scene. It's not amazing, but it's sort of okay. Michael's given like the arraignment, to decide if Carlo gets bail, and that scene I actually quite like, because the reason he's given bail is because, or the arraignment part of the trial is because he has this reputation of like just throwing things out, and not getting like rapists and like racists like prosecuted in the area. So like the head judge who like runs the court, that says this is a chance for you to prove yourself. And it's one of those scenes that is again quite sort of cartoonish, like many scenes have been in the series, but it's actually quite good. At least brought a bit of life to the show. Let's say it like that. And yeah, because Jimmy's in the room and he's just expecting Michael just to like make sure Carlo gets bail. The attorney is just like really sarcastic, and is like says a line, and then because she's not looking at Michael or something, he says, "Excuse me, you're addressing me here," and then she just says the same line, because it's this basic reason why he shouldn't get a flight risk, and it's to do with he's a violent criminal. And Michael's like, well, surely you need to give me more details. And then she's like, just fuck you, basically. that's the line. Or fuck you in the arse, or something along those lines. And I think it's just this emotional restriction of letting hardened criminals get away with things, or get off. But there's a turn to the scene, because she then sort of like lays out reasons why Carlo shouldn't, why he's a flight risk and shouldn't get bail. And Michael actually says he agrees, so he doesn't get bail. But then Jimmy like pipes in and starts sort of repeats the lawyer line about fuck you and that sort of thing to Michael, and Michael stands his ground. It's actually a good bit of acting from Cranston. It's you're not going to push me around in my courtroom. Now they go outside, like after the arraignment, and Jimmy comes up to him and it's like, what the fuck was that? And Michael reasons, well, I've got to make this look fair, or the appearance of it being. And then Jimmy kind of plays it like, yeah, sure, I was just playing along, and they do a sort of a play acting like poor part where Jimmy's actually, and I think it's probably Jimmy's way of just reminding Michael, yeah, don't mess with me. But the actual case isn't assigned to Michael, so the heat is back on again with Jimmy. Michael comes up obviously with a plot to this, that the head judge who obviously made the decision, he arranges for these like detectives to arrest her for like supposedly drunk driving. But the episode, except we cut to like Michael's birthday party, because it's his birthday that day, and there's a surprise party. Him and Lee are still together, and Lee like knows about it and sort of says, I'm gonna make you dinner. So it sort of contrasts the two scenes, like him having his birthday party with friends and family, and then the head judge being arrested. So have to keep having this crooked sort of, obviously there's potential drama in Michael being the judge. I guess that makes sense, because I think if they're going to play it the way it should be played, then his morality will sort of creep up on him at various points, and it may look as though he's not gonna go through with what Jimmy wants. It's like a dire situation, or Jimmy fixes a dire situation, and it's just a bit sort of too forced. Lee gets fired, and she gets fired because of her pursuing the Kofi murder case. And it's sort of weird because her boss sort of reasons, well, we were never representing Kofi, um, but we do represent the New Orleans prison. And yeah, and it's like, really? Surely, as a lawyer, you can represent anyone you want. I mean, I don't know if he was saying, well, they supply us with clients, or I think reading between the lines, he's saying it's a crooked system, but I mean, it's sort of a bit weak. I mean, maybe again he's just a racist arsehole, and that's that. But it's just a bit of a weak statement, especially since Lee has, sort of got a conviction. I mean, um, yeah, obviously they may have power and there could be sort of consequences, but you would have to question that. I mean, is there really much they can do once a conviction has been secured, and maybe stop giving them clients? I don't know quite how it works, but it just, his sort of reasoning for firing her was a bit weak, and it just felt like a bit, again, like they're trying too hard to push this, the crooked system. This is another example. Obviously leads with Michael, and you're sort of hoping that she'll probably find out what Michael's been up to and dump his ass, because it's hard to really give a shit about Michael at times. I have to say, as much as I care about Cranston, he's just become too unlikable, which I think is a bit of a problem. But there you have it. As I said, compared to the recent episodes, not too bad this week. Still not great, but half decent, I'll say. Um, so one more episode next week of Your Honour. And yeah, thanks for listening. Like and subscribe, and you can ding the bell on YouTube for notifications. But I'll see you guys again soon. Goodbye.